So now that we're comfortable with creating opportunities, and we've created an opportunity, and we've also actually booked ourselves for an appointment, request measure appointment, I'm going to give everyone a quick overview, fairly detailed, on field service and how to use it on your desktop. So field service, there's an action tab up here called field service. First thing I'm going to do is click on it. And it'll take a little bit to load because it's reading a bunch of different things within the scheduling, within service appointments, and bookings. So what we have now is our Field Service Gantt Chart. This is our internal scheduling software program that's built in and integrated in with all of our different layers of the job process. So there's many different things you can do on the Gantt chart, but number one, it is used to book service appointments in with service resources. So service appointments can be anything. They can be a request measure, they can be a design consult, they can be a delivery, they can be, and mainly are, installations, they can be pre-install checks, many different service appointment types. So the Gantt chart is made up of service resources, and then it's filled in with service appointments. So you can see that we have delivery service resources. So they are, say, the Powder River warehouse or the Seashell warehouse. We expand the installers. We have our installer service resources. So these are installers. I'm currently running at the Seashell and Powder River location, so I can see both locations of installers. Then we have sales. So these are people that are project managers. They might be store managers. They might be just anyone that's available to do some sort of request measure, design consult, but they are on the Gantt chart and able to pull stuff into them. So the next thing I'm going to show you is how to filter out these service resources that we just expanded right there. So if we look up at the martini glass right here, call it that, but it's filter drop down. So within that, we can play around with our Gantt chart. Now this will just play around with it for yourself. So you can adjust this however you'd like to adjust it. See which way you like looking at the Gantt chart the best, and see who you want to be on the Gantt chart as well. So first thing I want to do is look at your hours. So show the hours that you want to have on your Gantt chart. So if you go out of this, you can see that I have 7 a.m. to 5 or 6 p.m. because it starts at 5 and ends at 6. So if you look on there, I have 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's typical start time and finish time for lots of our guys, or within those hours. The next thing we're going to do is you can show weekends, or if you don't want to have weekends on there, I got weekends on there because we're open on Saturdays and we have installers that are working on weekends. We can highlight the weekends, or we can remove that. So I have them highlighted. You can see over here, if I go back to a weekend, you can see that weekends are a highlighted color. And if I was to unhighlight them, it takes that highlighted color off. Just goes to show you that it's just a different day of the week. You can use it however you see fit. Go back to the Monday there again. The next is you can show the number of months in a row of long-term view. I have these all just set at 0. I got 8 months. That's probably just like the generic one that comes with. I've never actually changed that, so I wouldn't be too worried about that. Next thing you want to go click over. So I've looked at all the hour selection stuff on there. I'm pretty happy with how it looks right now. Next will be the resources. So I have it sorted by location. I don't use anything in here, but this is the main one that you're going to use is showing at or which locations you would like to show on the Gantt chart. So say if I want to just search for Seashell, the Lower Coast, then I can just click off the lower ghost, and now I only, of course, you can see the quickest way to see it is we don't have Powell River Warehouse on there anymore. Go back to the resources, click on Powell River, click out, and it adds everyone that's from Powell River back on the Gantt chart. You can filter by crews. We don't have crew set up in there, but if we did have crew settings, then we can filter by having crews on there. Skills. So I have all skills showing on there. You can have it just show carpet installers, or and I'll show you where that shows. Right here, it will show what type of installer those installers are. So I have it on all. I recommend keeping it on all. Utilization, you want it to show everything. So show appointments, absences, show in future videos how to book absences. Travel time, you want to make sure that it shows everything on your utilization. And palettes is just the colors. Do not change the colors because we actually have automation built into the colors. So do not change the colors. Leave it on V2 Gantt colors only. Very important that you do that because we actually use those colors in lots of terminology when we're talking about the Gantt chart. So now that we know how to extend and retract these, and we're able to filter out who it's showing on there, a couple other quick little things within this part of the Gantt chart is this up here is how you move to different days. So you can click on today, and that'll bring you right to today. If you want to go back, you can go back as far as you want. To see when jobs were maybe done, or you can go forward if you like to see what's happening in the future. So I'm going to go back to today again. The next is a jump to a specific date drop down. So if you click on that, you can jump to specific dates that you'd like to go look at. I have it showing in daily view. So this is the view of the Gantt chart. I like to just see because you can see if people are doing multiple jobs or multiple service appointments in a day. For the sales team and for the delivery teams, I highly recommend always having it on daily. If you want to spread it out, say if you're working in dispatch or looking at the installers and you want to see when guys are available, this is where you would change it to maybe weekly. So then you have a whole week here showing on your Gantt chart, or maybe 2 weeks. So you can see 2 weeks. You have 2 weeks worth of days. That's what it's changing, is how many days you're viewing on the Gantt chart. So I'm going to go back to daily. That's the view that I like to work at. I'm used to it. See whichever view you're used to working at. Okay, the next is the left side of the Gantt chart. The left side holds service appointments. Now, it will hold every type of service appointment. So a red service appointment means it is none, and that means it is not dispatched or scheduled. Red means it is none. That means it's sitting over here only on the left side. It's nowhere on the right side. The next color is yellow. I'll see if I can find a yellow. There we go. We have a yellow. That means it is scheduled, but is not dispatched yet. So the left side can show red, yellow, or green service appointments. Red means that it's none. It is not booked in anywhere, and it needs to be booked in at some point. Yellow means that it has tentatively been booked in, but it has not been dispatched. Green means go. Green is dispatched. So if you see it's green, that means it's being dispatched. You cannot change it anymore. It has notified the SO owner. It has notified the customer, and it has notified the installer, or the service resource that is booked in for that service appointment. So red means none. Yellow is tentatively booked in, but we haven't actually committed fully to doing that service appointment yet. And green means it is fully committed to being done. Now, that being said, there are ways to move stuff around. So red means none. That means you can drag those onto the Gantt chart. Yellow means you can still actually move it around on the Gantt chart. back to where it was. And green, you can see that if I try to move it, it moves it back. It will not let me move it because it has been dispatched. Now, if a job has been dispatched and it is green, you can turn it back into a previous status again. So you can go to change status and you would change that to scheduled first. If you cancel the job, it cancels the service appointment and cancels it altogether, removes it from everywhere. So if you want to change it to scheduled so you can move it around again, you're just going to go to change status and then scheduled, and it'll turn it yellow. So now I can move that around. Doesn't dispatch anyone. Doesn't send any notifications. And once I got it back to where I want to have it, I'm going to change the status back to dispatch. Green means go. Just notified everyone that job has been dispatched. So on the left side again, these are all of the service appointments that are either red, yellow, or green. And what we have here are a drop down to bring up different lists of service appointments. So you can look on this drop down here and see that there are many different filtered lists. So what these are is these are pre-made filtered service appointment lists. And these can all be played around with or created. But what they do is most of them are used for telling us what service appointments are waiting to be booked in. So we have I'll use this one as an example because it's probably the most used one. Would either be the all unscheduled install appointments, either lower coast or upper coast. So this is for everyone's service appointments. There are also filter lists on here called My Unscheduled or My Dispatched. So when you see the word My first, that means it's only going to pull up your service appointment. If it says all, it will pull up all service appointments. So this one here, all unscheduled install appointments, lower coast. So these all mean right here that they are waiting to be installed on the lower coast. You'll see on here, there's different columns. You have the account, you have the opportunity name. Okay, going back to that opportunity name, really important that we're filling those in. We have customer names in there, that's okay. Flooring and carpet, that would probably be, if we could have a bit more details on that, that would be great. The next, you're gonna have requested date. Requested date is very important that it's used correctly. The requested date is when the job is actually ready to be installed. So don't cheat and put today's date when you're creating these service appointments. You be true to it, use the requested date, because what we want to be able to do is look at the requested date and say, okay, this job is ready to go. I'm going to book it in to get the job installed. We have the duration here. This is the duration in hours to do the job. It is based off of an hourly amount and compared to the work order dollar amount. This is the created SO date, so we can see when SOs were created. We got the WO type, so that's the work order type. So now we know what type of service appointment they are. Service appointment number, city that it's getting installed in, and created by. I just want to show everyone also, if they're having trouble seeing service appointments on their left side here, that you need to click on this little book right up here and make sure that all of these are checked off. You might be missing service appointments due to your territories not being checked off. So make sure those are always checked off when you are using this left side Gantt chart filter. If it's red, to drag it onto the Gantt chart. Super easy to do. If I drag it on there, it'll go from red to yellow. That means it is tentatively booked in on the Gantt chart. Does not mean that it's fully booked in. If you see one of your jobs and it's yellow and you want to make sure that it's getting fully booked in, if it's an installation, you're going to contact the dispatcher via chatter to confirm installation dates and see if you can get that dispatched. Or if it's green, that means it's dispatched, you're good to go. You've been notified, customers been notified, and installers been notified. I put this on here, it's yellow. Say the customer calls me, hey, we have to push it way back again. I'm going to change the status back to none. Do not cancel it because you're canceling that service appointment and you'll have to create a brand new one again from scratch right from this sales order. I'm going to go none. That's going to move back from the Gantt chart back into the left side here. Another thing that you can do on the Gantt chart is see the details of a service appointment. So to see the details of it, you can hover over top, and now I can actually see the details. Now, if I want to go into more detail, I can right-click it and click on Details. That will show me even more details. I can actually now go in there and edit details. So if I click Edit, and say if I wanted to change the requested date because the job got pushed back like we just talked about, I can go in there and edit from the Gantt chart the requested date. So now the dispatcher knows when the new requested date is. I'd like to show you also on the left side here, you can click on any of these service appointments, expand it, and also get down to the edit screen right here. And you can edit the requested date or any sort of details right from here as well. Super important that the requested date is true. Super important that we are making sure that we are watching the colors on the Gantt chart. And more than welcome to play around with any of these filters on your own Gantt chart and your left side filters.